I've got 3 kids whom I love dearly. I'm also a pet owner of 2 dogs that I also love dearly. The only issue here with being a parent or a pet owner are the messes that are created, whether it's spilled milk, spilled cereal, yogurt on the floor, and I'm always searching for a machine that can easily clean up these messes. Robotic vacuum cleaners are great for lighter daily messes, but when you need a deeper clean, something like a dry wet vacuum cleaner is definitely a better option. In this video, I'll be partnering with UWANT to take a look at the UWANT D100. I'll be comparing it to the Tineco S5, which is in the same price range. We'll put these to the test side by side and see which one comes out on top. Let's go ahead and get started. The first thing that I want to look at here is the design. Both of these have a sleek and a modern design. Both machines seem to be made of high quality materials. They both feel durable, and I think both of these will hold up well over time. Both have dual water tank systems. The UWANT D100 has a 2-in-1 tank system, so you have your dirty water and a clean water reservoir all in the same tank. It does make it a little more convenient when you want to dump out the dirty water and refill this with cleaning solution and fresh water. You've got 2 separate tanks on the S5. I do like that those tanks are separated, but it does make it a little less convenient. One thing that really stands out about the D100 is the drive-in dock. When you're finished cleaning, you can just drive this directly onto the dock and start the self-cleaning process. With other machines on the market like the Tineco S5, you kind of have to pick it up and flip it around and put it in place, and the only issue there, it generally leaves behind a little bit of dirty water whenever you do place it into the dock, and that you have to clean up later. I love the way that they approach the design of the handle on the U100. The UWANT floating handle unlocks and just kind of matches the movement of your wrist. This definitely comes in handy if you're cleaning a larger area. While the handle on the Tineco does have an ergonomic design, it is rigid and it doesn't move with your wrist. That can become uncomfortable when you're cleaning a very large area. In my house, I do have quite a bit of low-lying furniture, especially the chairs around my dining room table, and then also we've got a bench in the foyer. I was able to completely clean underneath my lower lying furniture with the D100 because it has the 180-degree lay flat design. You can actually see on the back of the unit, it has a spinning wheel. So it's designed to lay all the way flat, which gives you full reach underneath your furniture, allowing for a more thorough clean. The Tineco S5 is not designed to lay flat. It only goes so far, and you're not able to fully reach underneath some of your furniture. My favorite part of any vacuum cleaner video is, of course, making extreme messes and then testing out the vacuums to see how well they do. Both of these machines are excellent performers. So I did start out with some hair on the floor. I wanted to see how well these would be able to detangle the hair. Both of these units powered through the hair without holding on to any of it. Next up, I wanted to see how these would do with some simple messes. So I tried both of these units out with some soda and chamoy sauce. When they cleaned the soda, I noticed that the D100 was able to clean up all the soda on the first pass. The S5 did tend to push the soda in front of the machine and then would leave it behind when you would pull the machine back. With the chamoy sauce, both of these were able to grab all the chamoy sauce on the first pass. Next up, I wanted to test these units out against a more extreme mess, so I set up some flour, cereal, ranch dressing, and chamoy sauce. There again, neither one of these had any trouble cleaning up the entire mess in the first pass. Next up, I set up a very extreme test with some spaghetti, an egg, and then the egg shell, and both of these were able to power through the mess with no issues. That's one thing that I really like about these wet-dry vacuum cleaners. Usually you would need to clean up the majority of the mess with a paper towel, and then you could go over it with a wet-dry vacuum. With both of these, you don't even have to worry about cleaning up that initial mess. They're going to be able to power through that mess on their own. If you look closely at the roller mops on both of these devices, you will notice a little bit of a difference. On the D100, you have an edge-to-edge roller mop. On the S5, the roller mop goes all the way to one edge, and then there's about a 1-inch gap on the other edge. So I did want to see how these would perform when cleaning up messes at the edge. I started out with some milk spilled right there on the edge, and the D100 had zero issue grabbing all the milk on the first pass. I did notice with the Tineco S5, it did leave behind a little bit of milk, but for the most part, it was able to get that mess cleaned up on the first pass. Where the edge-to-edge roller mop really shines on the D100 is if you have a corner like this and there's a mess around the corner, you can get it in one pass without having to kind of re-maneuver the whole machine. clean like you need to do on the Tineco S5. The roller mops on both of these machines are designed to keep themselves clean at all times, but there is a self-cleaning option on both bases. You can just click a single button and that begins the self-cleaning process. I tested out the self-cleaning process on both machines by using some soy sauce on the roller mops, and I did find that the D100 came out cleaner after the self-cleaning cycle than the Tineco S5. The S5 relies on centrifugal force to dry the roller mops, so it doesn't get completely dry and it ends up having to kind of air dry, which can lead to foul smells and bacteria forming. The UWANT D100, on the other hand, uses 60 degrees Celsius hot air to ensure that the roller mop is completely dry after its cleaning cycle. Speaking of foul odors and smells, how many times have you forgotten to dump the dirty water, and then when you finally do get around to dumping the dirty water, it is the worst smell you've ever smelled in your life? The D100 actually has a deodorizing stick which eliminates the bacteria in the water, so even if you do forget to dump out the dirty water, you don't have that awful smell when you finally do go to dump it. The motor on the D100 is totally waterproof, so you can break it down and spray it with a water hose and it's not gonna hurt it. With other vacuum cleaners like the Tineco S5, you do need to wipe those down manually with a towel. The same thing goes for the base station. On the S5, you'll need to wipe that down manually, whereas on the D100, there's a removable plate that you can also spray down. It's just easier to clean and maintain. Overall, you really can't go wrong with either one of these units, but I do think that the UWANT D100 kind of has the edge here because it does have a few extra very helpful and useful features, like the 180-degree lay flat design. The edge-to-edge roller mop, there again, allows for a more thorough clean. The D100 is also just easier to clean and maintain with the drive-on base station and that waterproof design for the motor. All that being said, of course, you'll have to make the best decision for you and your family. I'll be sure to include links to both the machines in the description below so that you can find out more information about them and purchase one for yourself. That about wraps it up for this video. Thanks guys for watching. Be blessed. I'll see you in the next one.